and the Wananchi, the civilians. So we could not really fail to honor your invitation, and we also offered the small contribution which was brought by the chief himself, Brigadier General Washande, who is one of you now. When we invited us, he wanted us to explain to you, to talk to you about what we do, we as a CIMIC in Uganda People's Defense Forces, because you as students of Nkumba University, NRM chapter, you need to know the importance of civil military cooperation. You can be there, you are a supporter of NRM, but you don't know why UPDF, which is a brainchild of NRA, the movement party, the NRA. So you need to be having that background. So that's why I'm here to explain to you. First of all, my education background, I studied up to the university. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences from Makerere University. Then I have a master's degree in Peace and Conflict Studies, again from Makerere University. Uganda People's Defense Forces started as a mighty and patriotic Pan-Africanist army, which is for people that developed from nowhere, because it was started by none other than the Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, on 6th of February. On 6th of February, 1981, commonly known as Tarehe Sita. You normally hear of Tarehe Sita, and many people don't understand what is Tarehe Sita. You normally see the milk train here in Nkumba, in Storo, sweeping and giving back to the people. So it's because that day marks when His Excellency and other 27 armed patriots launched the struggle against dictatorship by attacking Kabamba Barracks on 6th of February, 1981. That's why they call it Tarehe Sita. Tarehe Sita, it is a Swahili word meaning 6th of February. So it lasted for 5 years, and in 1986, January 1986, it captured Kampala and became a national army. After 1995, Ugandan Constitution, it was enacted, NRA was renamed Uganda People's Defense Forces. From NRA to UPDF. The reason is that in the past armies, when you consider from 1962, Obote 1, when Amin took over in 1972, 71, all those who were in Obote 1 forces, either others were in prison or others left the army. Now Amin comes in with his new army. On 11th April 1979, when Amin was overthrown by a combined force of Tanzania and Foronasa, that is Chikosi Marum and Foronasa, all those that were in the Amin's army were no more. Others were in prison, were taken to the Syria, others went home, others went into exile. But when these comrades came up in 1995, they said, why should somebody be serving? Because when you are in the military, you are serving a national, that's a national army, that's a national cause. It's not for anybody, that it is for Amin, or it is for His Excellency Okote, or it is for the military, is not for His Excellency. Even General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the army is for the people. It's for the nation to protect the territorial integrity of Uganda at all costs. So these comrades realized it was really wrong for somebody to serve, and then after that, everything ends from there. So as if they were serving a particular person, which was wrong. So it was renamed Uganda People's Defense Forces, meaning it is the army of the state. Even if our current president now hands over power to any other person, still we shall remain with UPDF. UPDF is there to remain. So these comrades played a very, very great role in order to save and restore Ugandans who were suffering by then because of those undemocratic government that could not really foresee the importance of having a national army. Now, UPDF, we need to understand who is a civilian, because we deal with civilians. Therefore, for us, we know that a civilian is a person who is not directly involved in hostilities. He's not fighting, he's there. But the war insurgents will come up anywhere in Uganda. And when insurgents comes up, the military must deploy to encounter such an insurgents. When you are fighting in the theater, or what we call in the area of operation, you find there are people who are civilians and they are innocent. They are just there at their home. The enemy has come, he is in their area. But it's the role of the government forces to go and chase out the enemy out of that place. So if you are there, we find people who are not involved in hostilities. They are not fighting. Those are civilians. Therefore, they must be protected at any time, because even the international humanitarian law, civilians are people who are supposed to be protected at all levels. But there are some instances where you find civilians lose protection. For instance, a civilian can lose protection if we are in an area chasing out the enemy fighting, and then you decide also to involve yourself in fighting our forces. There you lose protection. For instance, if we find you with one, war materials, two, like uniforms, guns, and bullets, there we take you to court. That's why the opposition has been complaining that their members of opposition have been harassed. No, it's because the NRA does not, the government does not harass anybody, because it is the leading party that is supposed to take care of the interests of everybody. As I have already informed you, if you go to Cambodia and then you find a heap of military equipment and hardware in their stores, how do you categorize such a person? It's very, very simple. Any of you can tell me, you go to search the homes of the opposition politicians and then you find military hardware uniforms. What is the intention? If you are the one, what can you do? Anybody who can give me an answer? Anybody? Can you tell me, out of this background about the civilian, can you tell me that that person is a civilian? If you find him with a uniform, fatigue, camouflage, can that be, you think the law can still protect such a person? No. It cannot. So, you as members of Nkumba University NRM Chapter, if you hear such a kind of things, use this information to encounter. It's because these people who are arriving in court martial, they are not there because they are supporting Nupu. No. It's because they got them red-handed with military equipment. That's why they subjected them to the general court martial. You see, Lieutenant Carlo is a lawyer. He will tell you what does the army, what does it say if you are caught with the military equipment? The lawyer can tell you.
Thank you. We have lawyers here. You told me you're a lawyer.
Yes, I am.
Which year? Ah, tell us. Come and tell us.
I'm saying, if you are caught with military hardware when you are a civilian, what is the penalty? What can they do to you?
As a fourth year law student at Nkumba University, I think that's a court-martial case. And the consequences of being found with that are all determined by the court-martial, because I believe that is to be a civilian case and it moves over to the court-martial. That's my honest opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other? Yes, come and tell us.
Thank you so much. According to section 164 of the Penal Act, a person caught selling or in possession of any weapons or firearms is to be sentenced for 7 years or imprisonment for such a time. Thank you. I'm a student.
Thank you very much. These are very, very good answers. He talked about he's supposed to be in prison for right, but through what the other comrade said, through the general court martial. So when you hear the opposition complaining that, oh, our people have been subjected to court martial when they are not armed officers and men. No, it's because they were caught with the military hardware, and that one straight away you go to court martial, they court martial you, and then they sentence you through the general court martial, not the other one. So it's not by accident that you see these opposition members in court martial being tried in court martial. Therefore, you as NRM Nkumba University NRM chapter, you should have that information so that you are able to encounter, because people lack information about such a thing. So you find them there shouting. Such a kind of things are the ones that normally deviate others from achieving these NRM core principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. And all these can be achieved through discipline. And this discipline, it starts from here. Right away from home, where you come from, but at a certain age, when you join the university, then there, you have also to instill a culture of discipline in yourself. Because if you don't do that, then you will not secure your future. The future you start now, securing it. I remember when we were still at the university, because it's not many years ago, because I completed my bachelor's in 1999. That's when I joined the military. We used it to enjoy fighting, by the way, fighting with the policemen. Then we come up, we say we want to go. We say we go, we go, we go. We're not well knowing that really, if you are advancing, you go. Because we used to enjoy when you see after stoning a policeman who is armed, you really feel very well. And I know it's very common up to now. The youth, you can still enjoy that, I know that. But during the process, when we were doing all that, some of our colleagues left the university. They were chased away. They were chased away because of leading demonstrations and strikes. Yes, you can go there and fight. You want to war, yes, you go and fight. But after, the repercussions cannot be good for you, especially after being singled out and they chase you away from the university. And by that time, it was not easy. Right now, where there are so many universities. The other time they could communicate and say, oh, this one, because there was already these government universities. They even communicate and say, this person, don't give him a position, a vacancy, don't admit that person. And at the end, you have already been chased away from the university. Now, you have failed to secure the future. Therefore, securing the future, you start from now, just to be focused. As he was telling you about the mindset. The mindset. There are so many people around, especially opposition politicians. They want to drag the youth for their personal benefits into chaos, so that they are seen with a very big number that for us we are championing the rights of the people. Instead of negotiating to look for a solution, they want to demonstrate, and then they use the youth as a shield to gain their political objectives. And they get sponsorship from abroad, from these European countries. Therefore, as the youth and the NRM chapter of Nkumba University, you should be aware of such a kind of things, because lack of information is a very big problem. It can tarnish the image of the institution, your image, and even your future. Therefore, you need to go through, sit and analyze the negative repercussions that might appear, that might come out in such an action, so that you don't fail to secure the future as one of the NRM core principles. This civil military cooperation in Uganda People's Defense Forces started a long time ago. Failed to go and sit for exams at their respective primary schools. But for us, UPDF, as our role, we came in, we brought in our helicopters. I think they were MiG-20. Is it a primary briefing examinations? So it is our responsibility as UPDF to do that. Also is to foster harmony and understanding between defense forces and civilians like you. Then also, lastly, is engage in productive activities for the development of Uganda. That's why there is Operation Wealth Creation where he is. So you can see now we are connected here and there. I am sure when you are selected, you needed to know that you will find most of the things are connected. And not only, and they are not only limited to the military. Everywhere, it's now in the Ministry of Finance. So Operation Wealth Creation. So our role is to engage also in productive activities for the development of Uganda, which is to achieve socio-economic transformation. So you can see we are really at the forefront of each and everything according to this one. So those are the major areas where UPDF through CIMIC must come in. I will take you through briefly about our mission, vision, and so that you understand. For instance, our mission of CIMIC vision is to win the hearts and minds in order to gain force acceptance to achieve a commander's objective, to win the hearts and minds. Okay? There was a former chief political commissar of the UPDF, and unfortunately I didn't find him in the military. He was already retired or rest in peace. General Lieutenant Colonel Serwanga. So they used to tell us that in Uganda that temumanyi kukwana. Okukwana, it is a Uganda word meaning making friendship, I think. Any Uganda here? Come and explain to us. To these people. What does Okwana mean?
Thank you so much, our dear guest. Once again, I'm Ronald, a journalist at Nkumba University. As the word is Okwana, it is actually really explained very well. It is making friends. Just that some of us here take it in another way of making girlfriends and boyfriends, but it is making friends for good purposes. Thank you so much.
Asante. Even me, that's how I got it. So he used to tell us, to tell those who were there, that you learn how to acquire, which meaning, now this is our mission, to win the hearts and the minds of the people, so that you can be accepted. I will show you how this vision of Okwana helped this NRA, where you are, the NRM and NRA, to win the hearts and minds, and it was able to capture power in 1986. NRA succeeded in the Rubale Triangle because they launched the struggle on 6th of February 1981 and captured power in 1986. But they were roaming in the jungles of Rubale. Now, in Rubale, the NRA did not have land, they didn't have food, they didn't have anything. But because of Okwana, it really helped them to win the hearts and minds of the people and supported them. They were given food, they were given directions, they were given information about the enemy, and then the struggle lasted for only 5 years, which is not easy in the history of conflicts in Africa. Then, UPDF has defeated so many rebellions in the north, west, east, and Central Africa because of people's support. Some of you were still young in early 2003, 4, 5. Actually, immediately after taking over in 1986, several rebellions came out where there was Fosobote back again. There was the West Nile Bank Front of Juma Oris. There was the UNLF 1, UNLF 2. I cannot talk about all those insurgents that came up. Then Holy Spirit movement of Al-Sarapena, then later, road resistance happened. You can see all those. They were actually around 27 armed conflict, but all those were defeated because of the people's popular support. I will give you an example in the northern Uganda, when Joseph Kony became a very big problem. They formed what they called IDPs, where they gathered people in one place and they decided to protect them. Now, several humanitarian actors came in and they were supporting them in terms of humanitarian aid. Then people cooperated with the military. When he was chased out of northern Uganda, he went into South Sudan, up to areas of Bangatek and Gondokoro. UPDF used our civil military cooperation, cooperated with the government of Sudan. We were allowed to enter there. He was chased. He entered into Democratic Republic of Congo. We again cooperated with the government of DRC. He was again chased from there. Up to the time when the pressure was too much from DRC, he entered into Central African Republic. You can see all those journeys. Those are thousands of kilometers away from here. And it's because people were cooperating. In fact, to see that, to show you that UPDF is pro people's army when it comes to working with civilians. When our troops were withdrawing from the Democratic Republic of Congo, the women of Congo decided to walk with them on foot up to Uganda. That was something like 300 kilometers up to West Nile. Now you think if they were bad people when they were operating from there, where are they going to follow them where? I don't think so. So that shows that they were good to them and they were helping them, because for us where we operate from, we share with the people our medical facilities, even food. We share with them. So with that, that's why we were able to succeed. I will talk about one of the core principles which I'm going to combine. Then I give you an example. That is patriotism and Pan-Africanism. In 2007, the heads of African countries, heads of state of African countries, they sat in Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa, and the issue was about how to help our brothers in Somalia. After that summit, the heads of state decided to go back to their countries. When they reached there, they all decided to fold their arms like this. They were saying, who can go to Somalia? They refused to go. But because of this, number one and number two, patriotism and Pan-Africanism, His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the UPDF, he said, UPDF as usual, we must be pace-setters. So in October, the first contingent landed in Somalia. When it landed in Somalia, of course, the place was, the conditions were not so conducive. They were really harsh. But how did we succeed? Later, we said there is no way how we can pacify this war-torn Somalia without applying, winning the hearts and minds of the people, of the Somalis. The first thing was to set up a remote hospital in Somalia. That level 2 hospital was treating everybody in Somalia. All the Somalis were there. They came without even the support of African Union. Resources were committed from here because of patriotism and Pan-Africanism. To have Africa at heart. So they said, hey, these people have come to help us. Oh, minor and major surgeries were being conducted by our own doctors from the UPDF. So by the end of 2008, we had extended from Mogadishu eastwards up to a place called Barawe, which is very far. Those are almost 300 kilometers from Mogadishu. We had pacified all those areas. Then other countries say, you mean this is possible? So Burundi followed us. This thing, Ethiopia also came in. Later, Djibouti came in. And lastly, yes, even Ghana came in, but later, we used to call it cowardice, and they decided to go away after looking at the situation. They could not go back. So you can see these African countries to come and also help our brothers in Somalia. It is because of UPDF. So don't you think we as Uganda, we should be proud of pacifying a country where everybody was really fearing? That was not something very, very easy. Remember, in 1980, 1991, United States of America, a world superpower with all the weapons, with the technology. We call it air power, sea power, land forces, everything. With the money, with US, there is nothing that can really threaten them because they have everything. They came and landed in Somalia by the end of, I think it was by the end of 1991. President, was it Clinton or George Bush? Either one or the Bush the senior. Yes, he had to withdraw. He ordered for the withdrawal of his troops from Somalia after one of the soldiers were killed and then they put the dead bodies on the streets of Mogadishu. The reason is because they didn't have air power or what, they had everything, but they failed to apply civil military cooperation to win the hearts and minds of the Somalis. Now, for us, after doing that, they came in to support the African Union. So now, African Union mission in Somalia, we have the US, it's there, United Kingdom, they are there, Italy, they are there, just to come and benchmark and look at us exactly how we managed to pacify this area. So you can see UPDF, which is a brainchild of NRA, of which you are a member and subscribe. This is what we have been doing for this country, Uganda. Africa, So you can see that part of Pan-Africanism, it is here. So you need to have these facts so that tomorrow, when you are there defending your party, you have these facts on the ground. And the reason NRA came in and support, and it's the one that took over. But UPDF, it is Jeshi ya Wananchi, meaning it is people's army. That's why authority, everything belongs to the civilians. For us, we are subordinate to the civilian authority, despite the fact that we are at the forefront of stabilizing this economy. But the authority and the power, it is with you. It is with you people, not we in uniform, no. If anybody comes and says he has the power over the Wananchi, you tell him no, because according to the UPDF Act and even the Constitution of Uganda, power belongs to the civilian authority, not the uniform. Sisters, here our role is to obey orders from you people. That's why we are called UPDF, which means People's Army. And we as UPDF, what we normally do, we believe that UPDF, we believe that people are the first line of defense. The first line of defense is when you are chasing the enemy. A platoon, you place it there and then it advances with some other support weapons. So the first line, which is on the front line, it's you people. So we believe that you are the first line of defense. Then we also believe that we comply to the international humanitarian law. That's why you see this Brigadier Kweyero is in Hague because he's accused he committed crimes against humanity. So we also believe like that. If you do that, then you can also find yourself there. We should also be able to understand civil actors and local politics. We understand them, the local politics of the area. If I'm a commander here at Air Force headquarters or SFC, those commanders of ours, they are able to understand the local politics of the area, and you find they are in touch with the civil authorities because that's where power is. If it comes to the time of soliciting for votes during elections, who has the votes? You are the people. So if you are the commander and then you sit in the barracks and you say, for me, I'm a commander here, I don't need these people in Entebbe. No, you need them. So for us, we believe that to be able to understand the civil actors and local politics of the area, then the cultural awareness. If you go in an area, you must understand the culture of the people around there. Because if you antagonize with the culture, then you will not succeed. You have already antagonized with the people because culture is a unifying factor. I will tell you one story. In 2014, I was deployed in Somalia at force headquarters, where we were working with other armies from Africa, because Africa